Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear kids of class 9, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. My dear kids, how are you? I hope you all are fine at your respective homes. I welcome you all to my online class today. Dear cadets, you know, due to Corona, you cannot attend your regular classes. So, this online class will be helpful to you for continuing your lesson. First of all, let me introduce myself before you. Yes, I am Mohammad Moinuddin Khan, Assistant Professor of Botany, Department of Biology. Our today's topic is bioenergetics. In previous class, we have discussed about the cell division, different types of cell division, different phase of mitosis cell division, and significance of cell division. Our today's subtopics is photolysis, phosphorylation, photophosphorylation, cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation, photosynthesis, light-dependent and light-independent phase, C3 and C4 cycle, role of photosynthesis. At the end of this class, you will be able to learn about the role of ATP as the main source of energy in a living cell, production of carbohydrates through the process of photosynthesis, role of chlorophyll and light in photosynthesis depends on of organism on photosynthesis. Introduction of bioenergy. Do you know what is bioenergy? Bioenergy is renewable energy produced by living organism. On the other hand, the energy we get from making and breaking of chemical bonds in the molecules found in biological organism is called bioenergy. Living organisms continuously collect energy from the environment, transform them from one into another, sometimes preserve them and release them again in the environment. Some important keywords in these topics. Firstly, ADP, ATP, NADPH2, photolysis, phosphorylation, photophosphorylation, etc. At first, ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. Do you know why ATP is called the biological coin or energy coin? Yes, my dear cadets. ATP stores energy and supplies energy for other reaction when necessary. That's why ATP is called biological coin or energy coin. Now, photolysis. Water is split into electron, proton, and oxygen in the presence of magnesium and chlorine. This splitting of water by lights is called photolysis. Look at this reaction. Two molecules of water in presence of light and chlorophyll breaks down and produce 4 electron, 4 proton, it means 4 hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen by the process of photolysis of water. Now, for phosphorylation, the addition of phosphate to adenosine diphosphate, it means ADP, to form adenosine triphosphate is called photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation, the phosphorylation of ADP to form ATP using the energy of sunlight is called photophosphorylation. This phosphorylation, two types, one non-cyclic photophosphorylation and another is cyclic photophosphorylation. Firstly, non-cyclic photophosphorylation. In the light reaction of photosynthesis, the formation of ATP from ADP and H3PO4 is phosphoric acid in presence of light and chlorophyll A during the non-cyclic transfer of electrons is called non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Important features of non-cyclic photophosphorylation. It is the major pathway of the light reaction of photosynthesis. It is a photochemical reaction. It takes place in the grana of chloroplast. It requires participation of both pH1 and pH2. pH1 means photosystem 1 and pH2 means photosystem 2. 2. The transfer of electrons through the ETS, it means electron transport system, is unidirectional or non-cyclic. Now, cyclic photophosphorylation. In the light reaction of photosynthesis, the formation of ATP from ADP and phosphoric acid in presence of light and chlorophyll A during the cyclic transfer of electrons is called cyclic photophosphorylation. Important features of photophosphorylation. Now, cyclic photophosphorylation, it is a part of light reaction of photosynthesis. It is a photochemical reaction and depends on light. It takes place in the grana of chloroplast. It requires the partition only PS1, it means photosystem 1. The movement of electrons is cyclic. The cyclic process involves only ATP formation. Now, my dear boys, now the process of photosynthesis. At first, do you know what is photosynthesis? Yes, in presence of sunlight, with the help of chlorophyll, carbon dioxide and water react with each other and produce carbohydrate food is called photosynthesis. In this process, product is oxygen and water. In this process, essential components are water, light, and carbon dioxide. Look at this reaction of photosynthesis: 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 12 molecules of water in presence of light and chlorophyll react with each other and produce 1 molecule of carbohydrate food material and 6 molecules of water and 6 molecules of oxygen. Light dependent phase. Light energy is essential in the light dependent phase of photosynthesis. In this phase, solar energy is transformed into chemical energy. Through this process, ATP, it means adenosine triphosphate, and NADP H plus H, which is called reduced nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, are produced. This converted energy is stored in ATP. Chlorophyll plays a very important role in the production of ATP and NADPH2. Chlorophyll molecules absorb photons from light and with the help of the energy obtained from the photon absorbed. ATP is formed through the addition of an inorganic phosphate with ADP. The process of the formation of ATP is called photophosphorylation. ADP with inorganic phosphate in presence of light and chlorophyll, ATP is produced. Now, oxygen, hydrogen, and electrons are released through the hydrolysis of water with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll. The process is called the photolysis of water. ATP is produced through the process of photophosphorylation. The electron reduced NADP and produced NADPH2 or NADPH plus H. This process of producing ATP and NADPH2 is called assimilatory power. Light independent phase. Dear boys, in this phase, carbohydrates are produced by the reduction of carbon dioxide with the help of ATP and NADPH2. No light is directly required in the light independent phase, although the process can be carried out in presence of light. Atmospheric carbon dioxide enters the cell through the stomata of the leaves. In this phase, carbohydrates are produced by the reaction of carbon dioxide with the help of ATP and NADPH2 that was produced in the light phase. In green plants, the pathway of carbon dioxide reduction have been identified in the C3 cycle, C4 cycle, and CAM pathway. C3 cycle or Kelvin cycle. This cycle was discovered by Melvin Kelvin, James Basham, and Andrew Benson at the University of California in 1947 by using the radioactive isotope carbon-14. Therefore, this cycle is also known as Kelvin cycle or Kelvin-Basham CBB cycle. For this discovery of this cycle, Melvin Kelvin and his colleagues awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine and Physiology in 1961. The first produced component of this cycle is the 3 carbon 3-phosphoglyceric acid. This cycle is also familiar as C3 cycle. C3 plants accounting for more than 95% of earth plant species make a 3 carbon compounds as the first stable product of carbon fixation. Look at this, the light dependent phase and Kelvin cycle. The flow diagram of Kelvin cycle. The Kelvin cycle has 4 main steps. 1, carboxylation, it means carbon fixation, then photophosphorylation, reduction phase, it means reduction phase, then thirdly, synthesis of carbohydrates and regeneration phase. C4 cycle or Hasso-Slax pathway. In some plants, first stable product after the fixation of carbon dioxide is a 4-carbon dicarboxylic acid called oxaloacetic acid OAA. Such plants are called C4 plants, and the path of carbon is the C4 pathway. It was first noticed by Korchak in 1964 in the photosynthesis of sugarcane leaves. However, details of the C4 pathway were worked out by the Hatch and Slax in 1966. Therefore, it is known as Hatch and Slax pathway. C4 pathway is observed in many plants of family Graminae, such as example sugarcane, maize, some other monocot, and some other dicot plants. The various steps in C4 pathway are completed into 2 parts and in 2 different regions in the leaves. Now, difference between C3 and C4 plants. In C4 plants, plants are not able to adapt in high temperature, but C4 plants adapt in high temperature. In C4 plants, all the chloroplasts have same structure, but C4 plants chloroplasts are of 2 types: mesophyll chloroplast with granum, bundle sheath chloroplast are large in size but without granum. In C3 plants, no bundle sheath chloroplast layer is present in leaf, but in C4 plants, there is present a compact layer of large chlorophyllous cells radially arranged to the vascular bundle. In C3 plants, chloroplast present only in mesophyll cell, but in C4 plants, both mesophyll and bundle sheath contains chloroplast. In C4 plants, psyche continues even in very low concentration of carbon dioxide, but in C3 plants, cycle becomes closed in low concentration of carbohydrate. In C3 plants, Calvin cycle goes on in mesophyll cell, but in C4 plants, Calvin cycle occurs in bundle sheath cells. Okay, my dear boys. Now, role of photosynthesis. It is the primary source of organic food and food energy, ATP, it means adenosine triphosphate, for all forms of life, either directly or indirectly. Excess sugar produced in photosynthesis are either stored in the form of carbohydrates or used in the biosynthesis of other organic compounds. In any ecosystem, green plants represent the most essential biotic components as they are the primary producer. Photosynthesis helps to purify air and also maintain the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the ecosystem of nature. Oxygenic photosynthesis was responsible for converting the totally anaerobic condition on Earth into aerobic atmosphere present now. And lastly, the fossil fuel, as for example, natural gas, coal, petroleum oil, etc., are all energy rich materials of an organic origin. The energy stored in all these fuels is basically solar energy, which was trapped and stored during photosynthesis in the geological past. Okay, my dear boys. Now let's have a enjoy a video clips about photosynthesis process.
The amazing process of photosynthesis. A look around at nature is an absolute treat to our senses. We all enjoy the colors and fragrance of plants, but seem to forget about their important contribution. Plants are an absolute necessity for life on Earth. It is so because of the process of photosynthesis. A closer look at a plant shows that it is firmly held in the soil by the help of roots. These roots absorb water from the soil and through the tiny tubes transport it to the stem and then to the leaves. The stem holds the leaves in such a way that they absorb maximum energy from sunlight. A leaf is a very important part of the plant. Photosynthesis, the ultimate provider of food and oxygen, occurs in the leaf. A leaf consists of a flat, thin lamina, which is joined to the stem by a petiole. The flattened lamina provides large surface area for trapping sunlight. A cross-section of the leaf shows the upper and lower layers of cells, which are flat and irregular. Below the upper layer is the layer of tightly packed cells. These cells have specialized organelles called chloroplasts. Chloroplasts contain the pigment chlorophyll, which gives the green color to the leaf. The next layer has loosely arranged cells with large air spaces. This section also shows tubes specific for transporting the absorbed water into the leaves. The lower layer has many pores called stomata. Each stoma is surrounded by two guard cells, which regulate opening and closing of the stomata. A leaf absorbs carbon dioxide from the environment through these stomata, which after passing through air spaces, enter into the chlorophyll-containing cells. Both water and carbon dioxide molecules are finally absorbed by the chloroplast. These chloroplasts also have the capacity for trapping energy from sunlight. And this energy is used to synthesize glucose and oxygen from carbon dioxide and water. These oxygen and glucose molecules diffuse out of the chloroplast. The glucose is transported through other specialized tubes to all parts of the plant, aiding in their growth. The oxygen present in these air spaces diffuses out through the stomata. So, during photosynthesis, oxygen is given as the life-sustaining gaseous component of the atmosphere, while glucose or food is transported to all parts of the plant and used for growth. To summarize, green plants can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Plants are held in the soil with the help of roots. These roots absorb water and send it to the leaves through specialized tubes. The lower layer has many pores called stomata. A leaf absorbs carbon dioxide from the environment through these stomata. Both water and carbon dioxide molecules are finally absorbed by the chloroplast. Where in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, they synthesize glucose and release oxygen. The oxygen diffuses out through the stomata. The glucose is transported through other specialized tubes to all parts of the plant, aiding in their growth.
Okay, my dear boys. Thank you, my dear cadets, for attending my online class. If you have any question and query on my class, you can clarify it having an online session with me at the period of your scheduled class. Thank you for your patient hearing and viewing. Stay home because we are passing critical and crucial moment. Pray to Almighty Allah 5 times so that we all are overcome this crucial situation. May Allah bless us all. Allah Hafiz. Thank you. See you in the next class. Next class is respiration in plants. Thank you. Thank you.